All right, good day. We got a lot of variety on today's show. Talk a little bit later about the situation in Iran on this Iran deal. Delmar Pharmaceuticals, a pharmaceutical company specializing in finding cures or treatment for cancer, will be joining us. But let's open up with someone who was doing the work of God. His name is Tim Orr. He's the author of We Named Her Faith, How We Became a Gospel-Centered Family. It's his first book. There's many more to come. Tim is an award-winning adjunct faculty member in religious studies at Indiana University, Purdue University, Columbus, where he served over 7 years. He's got a number of degrees, and his conversion and life has changed. He's been featured on Pat Robertson's 700 Club, and he's here to join us today. The name of the book, again, is We Named Her Faith, How We Became a Gospel-Centered Family. It's published by Xulon Press in paperback and Kindle. You can go to XulonPress.com, Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com. Tim, welcome and congratulations on what I think should be an inspiration for a lot of people to listen to your story. It's nice to have you with us.
Good to be here.
It wasn't always easy. First, give us an overview of the book, and then go back and tell us about difficulties in your early life, along with your wife, that you both overcame and made great contributions to the ministry with.
Yeah, I think all of our life experiences combine to form a story, and in the book I tell the story of our family, which includes our beautiful girl adopted at birth who happens to have Down syndrome, and we named her Faith, and also gives our story as well. And my story begins when I was born. My mom discovered when she gave birth that I had multiple birth defects. And so that experience sets the direction of my life for years to come.
What were the ramifications that followed? You drifted into, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but maybe an abyss, not having the right direction. What followed, and what was the watershed moment that turned things around for you?
Yeah, I think just as a result of just a very difficult life, I came to the conclusion one day after when I was about 20 years old that I needed something. I tried to I used different methods to try to seek an answer for my situation. And one day that I came to a religious conversion out of desperation, and that's what changed my life from there.
And your wife, maybe a little different story, but again, someone who was looking for help and guidance. Was that achieved through her meeting with you, or, as you might interpret, through her meeting with God?
Yeah, I think it was her conversion came early on. She was born in a situation to teenage parents, and then, but early on, she was exposed to Christianity by her grandmother, and her conversion experience really changed her life and set the direction for her life as well.
So you proceeded. You were fortunate to find a great mate, someone you had something in common with. The ministry has been where you've dedicated your life. Tell us about Faith. What was the decision here to adopt her, and what were the ramifications and adjustments you had to make?
Yeah. We were going through the process of adoption. We weren't able to have children of our own, so about 16 years into our marriage, we decided to adopt. And what kind of changed our direction on the adoption that we were going to do was an experience I had going into a classroom that was a sort of developmentally special needs classroom for preschoolers. And a little girl with Down syndrome comes walking up to me, extends her hands upward, and wants me to pick her up. And I pick her up, I talk to her for a few minutes, I set her down, she walks away, comes back, and she does the same thing. I pick her up, and something just hit me, and it was a thought that really never came to my mind before, and that was, maybe I need to look into adopting a child with Down syndrome. And so I did. And so the time from the time of that experience to the time I adopted Faith was a period of 7 weeks. It went pretty rapidly. So that's how Faith entered into our life.
How has Faith grown and developed and nurtured not only her own life but yours and Michelle's?
It's just been incredible. We found out early on that she was an overcomer, and that's what, through her life, I think as she gets older, she's going to be someone who will reflect someone who has been changed by God. We got sort of a glimpse of that early on, about 3 weeks after she left the hospital. We go to a family reunion of my wife, and when we do, she has never she hasn't taken a bottle yet at all, because when she left the hospital, she had to have a G-tube. And she was supposed to have that for a year afterwards, and at least. So when we leave, we go to the family reunion, and I begin to feed her the bottle because I wanted my wife to be able to, enjoy the company of her family. And when I do, about a quarter of the bottle was drank, then a half of the bottle, then 3/4 of the bottle, and everybody began to notice that she was about ready to accomplish this major feat, which is quite a feat in her life. And when she did, she took the bottle for the first time and did that subsequently. So that was the first glimpse into this little girl's life, that she was going to be an overcomer. She was going to be one that would overcome challenges, and we've seen that in her life throughout. And we've also seen just a gracious personality that really is captivating, and people love her. So I think that she's going to make quite an impact on the lives of people in the future.
Whom is this book for, and what messages would you like people to take from it?
Well, I wrote the book to communicate a couple things. Somebody's life can be changed by the gospel, and it's not. Sometimes our understanding of Christianity is in more of a moralistic framework, and what I hope to communicate in the book is that you don't have to be. It's not about moralism. It's about being right with God through faith in Christ, and so the gospel then is a changed life, and so that is what's really important. And also, I think just the idea of the question of all lives matter and essential dignity. With some of the things that are going on with Planned Parenthood and so forth, what you find is that even lives that are that may perceive to be difficult, they can be changed and be, they're productive members of society, can be used to really make a difference. So,
a great message for everyone. You got more books coming, right?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, you'll keep us posted. And once again, the name of the book is "We Named Her Faith: How We Became a Gospel-Centered Family." It's Tim's first book. Tim Orr is the author, and it's published by Xulon Press. You can go to, as I mentioned, XulonPress.com, BarnesandNoble.com, and Amazon.com. And I want to thank you very much for bringing this emotional story to the airways. And we need more people like you out there, Tim. We're being drowned in the media by those people who have lost faith in everything and devotion. And I'm not speaking from a religious standpoint. I'm speaking from a moral one. Great to have you on.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to break, change topics. Be right back.